مر الزمان تألقا وأضاء للدنيا طريقا مشرقا وهدى من الرحمن يهدينا به للصالحات وللمكارم والتقى هذا كتاب الله أعذب منهل أنعم به.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome back to the 15th episode and the 15th part of this series where we are looking at the 40 hadith pertaining to the virtues and the rulings of the Qur'an. Today's hadith, we will look at the hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, where he reported that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله يتلون كتاب الله ويتدارسون بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة وغشيتهم الرحمة وحفتهم الملائكة وذكرهم الله في من عنده. The Prophet ﷺ said, no group of people or no congregation come together in a house from the houses of Allah, reciting the Qur'an with one another, and they study it between themselves, except that tranquility descends upon them, and they are enveloped by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the angels surround them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention of them with those who are with Him. And this authentic hadith reported in Abu Dawud. This hadith clearly establishes the virtue of reciting the Qur'an together in a congregation in the houses of Allah. Now, the houses of Allah, as we know, they are the masajid. The masajid are the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some scholars, though, are of the view that other places can also be added onto this as well. Virtuous places, maybe like schools, Islamic schools and madaris and madrasas. But otherwise, the best place to recite the Qur'an without a shadow of a doubt is in the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because these places are pure places, and they are always attended to by the angels. They always attend such places, in particular the angels of mercy as well. So مَجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ. So when they come together to recite the Qur'an, and so this shows the virtue of coming together to recite the Qur'an together. Now, how does this occur? Now, the scholars mention various different ways that people can recite the Qur'an together. Some say that those who, when they come together, they recite the Qur'an simultaneously. Another way is when one person, he recites the Qur'an, the other people, they listen. And so you can sit in a circle, for example, and you have a person reciting one page, for example, and the rest listen. After he finishes a page, then the next person next to him recites the Qur'an in a similar fashion. One of the benefits of doing that is that we manifest the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we don't just keep the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ourselves and in our own homes. Rather, we share the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with one another. It also makes it easier to concentrate on the recitation of the Qur'an, because you are by yourself, you can easily be distracted. Whereas if you sit together in a group, then you find that you'll be able to concentrate much more. Another benefit is people can correct your recitation, and you can hear maybe someone else's recitation which is more proficient than yours. And so there are so many benefits of coming together and listening to the Qur'an with one another. وَيَتَدَارَسُونَهُ بَيْنَهُمْ. And they study it amongst themselves. So it's not just about tilawa, it is about dirasa as well, about studying the Qur'an, about understanding its meanings as well. So that should be a part of our learning as well. So not just about, again, the mere recitation, but understanding its meanings, maybe studying its tafsir as well, and maybe the benefits that we can learn, and what actions that we can learn, or points of action that we can learn from those verses. So what happens when people do that? That sakīnah descends upon them. Tranquility descends upon them. And this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He descends upon the hearts of those who recite the Qur'an. And they are enveloped by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are surrounded by the angels of mercy, subhanallah. The angels of mercy. They come and they attend, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has different angels and they have different roles. And there are a group of angels which are known as the malaikatul rahmah, the angels of mercy. And when they attend such gatherings, there is a special degree of protection and care that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides for such people. And not only that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention of them with those who are with Him, meaning the angels. Allah makes mention of them in the highest of gatherings, in the heavens above us. Allah will mention every single person in that gathering that is reciting the Qur'an. And the angels make dua for that person as well. So imagine being mentioned by Allah in the highest of gatherings, subhanallah. And this is a form of protection for the believer and a form of praise for the believer as well. And so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to revive this practice of reciting the Qur'an together in such gatherings, inshaAllah ta'ala. Now, after looking at all these ahadith about the virtues of the Qur'an, the next hadith that we will look at in the next episode will be about the one who has no Qur'an in his heart. What is the state of such a person? So tune in for that episode, inshaAllah. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us all tawfiq to be amongst the people of the Qur'an. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
تألقا وأضاء للدنيا طريقا مشرقا وهدى من الرحمن يهدينا به للصالحات وللمكارم والتقى نور على مر الزمان تألقا.